Councilman Ellington. Welcome.
Before I say anything, I'd like to say all praise and honor and glory be to God. To the Stokes, I do apologize. I remember what happened. I was a little younger, not as seasoned in the political process, so I definitely like to offer any type of help that I can give you guys now that I'm home at the city. And Dr. Howard, thank you for actually bringing that issue to the police board. With Troy Robinson and the team Honk, I'm extremely aware of what's been happening off 35th and Prospect, and I'm extremely concerned. If you go to his Facebook page, and I suggest everybody goes to his Facebook page, you will see all type of anomalies with the same officers that is attacking this individual right here. He called me on a Tuesday, I believe it was Tuesday or Monday. PD had pulled up on him. I was literally on the phone with him, telling him his rights, listening to them tell him that they would not give him his badge number, would not give them their name, until we told him that he was talking to Councilman Ellington. So I didn't just come here to talk about problems, but when you have an individual, I'm just going to use Mr. Robinson as an example, that stands out on 35th and Prospect at nighttime, 10:30, 11:30, 12, knows all of the drug addicts, drug dealers, prostitutes, and those that are committing property crimes. Law enforcement has a decision and a choice. We can either start partnering with individuals that know the community and work with those individuals to reduce crime. We heard about the trash on Prospect. It would be just as simple as a police officer pulling up to throw him in a paddy wagon. It would be as simple to pull up and give him trash bags, or give him assistance to clean up that area, or give him assistance when it comes to property crimes or crimes that happen in that area, and being able to talk to him, as opposed to him telling y'all that he fears for his life. And that fear is very real. But I didn't just want to come in here and talk about problems, because I know I have a very short time frame. So I'm going to pass out these ordinances, and I would definitely love to get the police board's support behind it, because not only will it change the transparency and the trajectory of law enforcement, it will start to create that bridge that we need to have if we're going to reduce the murders. When we talk about increasing the police roster, and people are not going to like to hear this, but Kansas City per capita has more police officers than most major cities per capita, when we talk about the citizens that are here. Yet we consistently have over 100 murders. And I think the majority of that is due to partially due to the prosecutor's office and the lack there of following through with prosecution, and then no community trust when it comes to being able to be transparent, talk to law enforcement, and get criminals off the streets. So the first ordinance is Ordinance 190740, and I'm going to pass this out to everybody. What this does is it requires people in the city of Kansas City to report a stolen firearm within 72 hours of that firearm coming up missing. It does not violate state law. Section 21750 says no city shall adopt any ordinance concerning in any way the ownership, use, keeping, possession, or controls on the firearm. This will be after the fact. This is after the firearm is no longer in possession, no longer in ownership, no longer in use, or no longer in control, because that firearm is either missing or stolen. And this goes to an issue that we have in the inner city when law enforcement apprehends somebody and then they figure out where the gun comes from, and the gentleman or woman says that the gun was stolen a year ago. Well, you probably sold that gun that was committed in the crime. So that's number one. 190712. This creates an intervention compliance unit program. The goals are reducing and preventing violent crime and improving safety within the individual neighborhoods through collaboration with the police department and community representatives. Troy Robinson is a perfect community representative. The development of evidence-based procedures to reduce violent crime and focus on early detection of violent criminal behavior, meaning we're being proactive but not creating a system in which we're profiling individuals. We're being proactive in engaging the constituents in that area. The creation of policies and procedures to address crime recidivism. Since the city doesn't have governance, we have control, but since the city doesn't have governance over police policies, we're asking that you actually craft these in there too. The creation of policy procedures are going crime data collection, the methods for monitoring crime data, the development of strategies for improving mental and social service programs to address systematic needs for reducing violent crime in the city. Because the majority of our violent crime is interrelated to a couple pillars that are non-existent in the community. Ordinance 190-714. This one creates a consent process in the city of Kansas City. So again, staying inside the guidelines of control and governance. Any interaction with law enforcement, there will be a required ticket to go out. The ticket should have on there race, probable cause, reason for stoppage, etc. If the individual complies with the consent form, obviously they sign on there that they comply for consent. If they don't comply and it's still probable cause, obviously the law enforcement officer has the right and the authority to search that individual. What this does is it creates dualistic protections. So the incidents that Mr. Robinson was talking about, if it wasn't for his Facebook live feed, there would be no documented proof. Only thing that you would see was that he was assaulting the police. I believe one of the charges. But when you watch the video, you'll see his hands was out like this and he got thrown on the ground. There was no assaulting the police. So this would create a protection for law enforcement for miscellaneous complaints, and would also create one for the community. And just to go to the heart of the sentiment or the comment that I heard earlier about the about internal affairs, and this is documented, please look it up. There's an officer, and I believe it was 2016, I won't say his name out of respect, but when I went down there, he had 65 active complaints by 65 different folks that didn't know each other. And I tend to believe that when there's smoke, there's definitely fire. So I think it's issues with ensuring that internal affairs is actually able to get officers that are out of compliance. And again, this consent process is something very simple, but it creates that transparent interaction between law enforcement and the community. 190-711. This creates a Kansas City's Innocent Commission. This is too long for me to read, but basically the Innocent Commission will be staffed, representatives from the Defense Board, the Police Department, city staff, prisoner advocates, and a former municipal judge and civil rights advocate. And basically what they would do is look at municipal charges, infractions, and arrests to ensure that we're in complete compliance. The last one that I'll read to you is 190-702, and this one is one that would allow officers not to arrest as many people. It would decriminalize marijuana at 100 grams or less. This is one that the prosecutors actually came out and stated a few years ago. The issue that I have is that currently people are still being prosecuted when the prosecutor says that they wouldn't, and it would also put us in compliance with the new medical marijuana law. How much time do I have left?
You're long out of time. I've been generous with you, sir.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to pass these out.
Thank you.